Hear me? All right. So hopefully you guys already read some of the instructions on the first screen. Again, anytime that we start a live session, I'm going to have it start off so that your camera's not showing and that you all are muted coming in. A lot of times, again, some of the sessions will be recorded so that I can post them on Edsby afterwards. So if it's something that I'm trying to post to Edsby, then I'm not going to allow you to have your video on so that I can post it to Edsby for people to view later. And I'll talk about the difference during this little conversation. Now, some of the other things, again, for just purpose of knowing that you were here and present for this, it doesn't save who were participants in here, so that I can see that you are actually a participant. That's why I want you to make sure that you say hi or hello or present in the group chat so that I can actually see that you are present. The chat gets saved so that if there's any questions that I need to answer later on as well, I can go back to and I can review them all and save them if needed. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So a couple things about Zoom. Now, a lot of you guys probably at this point have maybe heard from some of your other teachers. Again, Zoom, it's a video conferencing software that allows us to do a lot of different things. I'm going to record and post most videos to YouTube with a link on Edsby. Anytime we have any type of live class, it will be posted on Edsby. Every session will start off, like I said, with everyone muted, and I want you to stay muted unless you have questions. If you're on a computer, the way that you can unmute yourself easy to ask a question is just by holding down the space bar. So if you just want to say hello or hi real quick, go ahead, you can. Not everybody all at once. Go ahead though. Try to.
Hello.
Oops. Anybody else want to say hello besides Ted?
Hello.
Hello.
Junior.
Hello.
What's up?
Oh my God, I'm on time for what?
Bye.
Wait, where are they?
It's a video chat.
Where are they?
All right. So again, to answer, I heard some of you guys in the background say, it's a video chat. Where are they? I think someone else was asking a question. Again, there's not going to be any video shared between students during this session since it's being recorded. Also, after you have made comments and stuff, after you've said hello, especially if you're on a phone or tablet, you don't have the feature to just hit the space bar. So if you please mute yourself, Cristobal, if you would go ahead and mute yourself right now. All right, or I can mute before you. Now, if I ever do have to actually mute anybody myself, it won't allow you to. I can take the ability to mute away from you so that you just stay muted. Again, hopefully I don't need to use that feature, but I can mute anybody that I need to. For your names, please make sure you use your name when you're signed in. That way I know that it's you for this first one. Again, if you're named as something else, again, when you say hello or whatever, make sure you put your name there so I can see you. I can also rename people if need be. So again, when you join, if it's not your name, let me know who it is so I can rename it for you. For names and chat, if I ever see anything inappropriate, I might just kick you from the group for this session. So again, that doesn't mean you can't go back and view it later, but if you do anything that's not appropriate, again, I will kick you out of the live session. For participants, there's a window if you're using a computer that says participants. If you use that window, you can raise your hand anytime you want to ask a question. That way, if I'm in the middle of explaining something, I can go back and see what your question was. You can also type it out in the group chat. But if everyone wants to just try, go ahead raising their hand real quick just so they can see what it looks like. Once you hit the button, they'll just give you a little symbol next to your name showing that you have a raised hand. And then you can also lower your hand, or I can lower it for you as well. Okay, so for video, like I said, for every live class, or anytime we go on Zoom, it's going to be set up so that you don't have video at the start. For classes, so whenever I do a live class, I'm going to be recording those, so you're not going to be allowed to show video during those classes. However, in office hours, which I'll explain in a few moments, for office hours, if you want to share a video or share your screen during that time, that's fine. Okay, so on to the next slide. As far as the Zoom live class times go, I've already set up time schedules for all my classes. Currently, we have people in here from both geometry, honors, and MCS. There will be separate class times for each of those. So up at the top there, it says that there's live classes going to be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you go to EDSB, I've set what exact times I'm going to have for each class. So that the windows that are here on this screen are the same as what's here. Leonard gave us a basic outline as to when we should try to hold live schedules so we don't create too much of a conflict. Again, there's bound to be some conflicts, but again, they tried to do the schedule so that we wouldn't have too many conflicts. For math, again, there's 3 days a week where they'd like us to stick to. As far as live things go, as far as class time goes, I will have an opportunity each day though for a Zoom if you want to get in touch with me. So for the class time, geometry honors is basically the first 45 minutes of the class time, whereas MCS is at the last 45 minutes of the window. So those, like I said, again, are posted to EDSB already. I'm really not expecting to hold any one of those classes for longer than 30 minutes because those live classes are going to be mostly for instructional time, maybe a few questions at the end. So it might go to 45 minutes, but the actual instruction, don't plan on doing more than 30 minutes of actual instruction. For office hours, so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to hold office hours for any additional questions live through Zoom. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, those sessions I will not be posting to YouTube because, again, those ones I'm going to allow you to share video during. If you need any type of help with your actual computer too, you can ask me for help during that time. I can help you navigate and figure things out. So again, I'm not going to be posting any of those to YouTube. Non-live videos, I will also record some other things. Like if I give you an assignment to do and I want to go over answers, then I will also be creating additional videos that I will post to YouTube and post links on EDSB so that if you had questions, you can view them, see if they answer things. I don't want to spend a lot of the class time going over work that I can cover as an extra video. But again, you will have opportunities to ask me questions as well. As far as participation in these Zooms go, you don't have to participate every single day. Again, I know everybody's schedule is kind of mixed. Some of you guys might be able to do it while it's live and ask me questions, and that's great. So what I'm planning on doing is, as far as participation goes, the district wants us to have at least some type of live interaction with every student at least once per week. So if you're on Zoom with me at least one time, I can count that as live, as being live with me, so that if you had a chance to ask questions, you could have. That's another reason why I have you in the chat group saying hello at the very beginning. That way I can take a quick attendance and see who was there, because if you don't participate in the Zoom, then I need to make sure I contact you at another time. I see, Sam, you have your hand up still. Do you have a question, or did you just leave it up from earlier? How do we take tests? Okay, so for tests, I'm going to get to that in just a second. Hold on to that thought, and I'll explain that. But there will be a couple different things I use for testing. So let me go to this next slide here. It'll be on the next one that I talk about testing. Attendance. For attendance, we still have a daily attendance that we have to take. Now, since we're not going to be live every day on Zoom, the attendance will be based on a daily question. So I will post a daily question on either EDSB or an office form this first week coming back. So next week, I'll probably do 2 days on EDSB, 2 days through an office form, just to get a feel for whichever one's easier. And then after that point, I'll probably continue to do one of those two options, not both of them. So again, it's going to be just one math question each day for attendance purposes. Again, there's going to be other assignments and stuff, but for attendance, there'll be one question that you need to answer. Since it's going to be a daily thing, I highly recommend on your phone setting a reminder to go off. So if you have a phone, set a reminder on your phone. If you're at home and you have something like an Alexa or Google, set a daily reminder to answer your attendance questions on those. Again, it's something that will be quick and easy for you to do. So next week, you'll get 2 days. I'll ask through EDSB, 2 days. I'll ask through an office form. And then Fridays will be a little bit of a just a questionnaire to see which one you guys preferred as well, so that I know which one was easier for you. All right, for the different digital platforms, there are several different things that we'll use. Now, some of these will apply more to Geometry Honors, some of them will apply more to MCS. Of course, everybody will be using EDSB as well as Clever. They have the same login, so those two things should be easy to use. Now we have for Clever, there's lots of links within there. Math Nation, Khan Academy, Office, Pearson, Springboard. Those are all things that I'll use within Clever. Some of those things are going to be used more for, again, one class than the other. Like Math Nation will be mostly for geometry. Khan Academy will be mostly for MCS. If you have a Khan Academy account, your own Khan Academy account, you can also log into that with my MCS classes. Everybody should already have their own Khan Academy account, which they could use. But if you don't have your own, then you can just use the Khan Academy account that you have through Clever already. For Office 365, there's several things that I'm going to be doing with that, including forms. I'm creating a shared folder in OneDrive, which I've already posted the link to on EDSB itself. In order to access that folder, you are either going to have to be logged into Clever and go to Office 365 so that you're logged into it already, or when you go to the folder, it'll prompt you to enter your username and password. If you do that option, you will have to enter not only your student number, but student number at hcps.net, and then your password. Again, those instructions are right underneath the link that's posted on EDSB. For the last thing that's on there, School City, some of the tests and quizzes I will do through School City. So yes, you still have tests and quizzes. Some of the tests and quizzes, I might post quizzes more through EDSB or through a form. Tests will probably most likely be through School City. The login is slightly different for School City. So there's the information on how to log into School City there. It's the same platform that we used in the computers at school at the end of last semester. So everybody should be at least a little bit familiar with using that platform. And then also worksheets. If I post any worksheets for you guys to complete, I'll post them on both EDSB and also in the OneDrive folder. The reason why I'm always going to post those in both is because we need to have a backup essentially, so that if you're having a hard time accessing EDSB, you'll be able to see them as well on the OneDrive folder. I'll also keep an updated calendar on the OneDrive folder for each class so that you know exactly what to do each day, in case, again, you can't access EDSB for some reason. All right. Turning working on EDSB. Before we had left, I had made sure everybody had at least tried submitting an assignment through EDSB. So again, there's lots of different ways that I could have you submit work. Turning in work on EDSB, it could require you to take a picture and submit the work if it's something that's written. Again, that's what you'd have to do if it was like handwritten notes, if it was a worksheet, if it was problems from a textbook. For things that are on the computer, like if I'm having you use Khan Academy, then it might be taking a screenshot. So if you're doing a screenshot, easiest way to do that on your computer would be with using the print screen option. If you hit print screen and then go to wherever you're turning it in at and hit Control V to paste it in, it'll paste it in the field. Again, you can also attach documents. anytime you submit anything work-wise on Edsby, there will be an option with a submit button that you need to use to submit the work. Don't send it to me as a message. That's not how you should be submitting any type of work. There will be a submit button on the actual assignment so that you can click it and attach things within the submission. Anytime you submit something, it should also say resubmit after you've submitted it. If it doesn't say resubmit, then you can refresh your screen and hopefully it says resubmit. If it still doesn't say resubmit, then you probably didn't submit it correctly. All right, I did see another hand go up. Did you have a question? Francesca, did you have a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, how long do we gotta be in these live chats in order to get credit?
Again, you don't have to be in there the entire time. When I do it, I'm going to do it 3 times. Again, I'll be in it 3 times a week for a live class. For those live classes, I'm also going to post those onto YouTube. So like if you can only stay for part of the class and then you have to leave, I know a lot of you guys, since you're high school age, are probably helping with childcare as well for brothers and sisters and maybe even aunts and uncles. So there's going to be times where you're going to have to leave. If you want to leave it running in the background as well so that you can come back to it, that's fine. But if you need to go at any time, you're more than welcome to go take care of what you need to. And then the links will be up on Edsby for the YouTube after I've posted them. If it's something during, if you're just coming in on a Tuesday or Thursday when I'm doing the office hours, again, you can come in, ask a question, leave. You don't have to stay for the entire thing. And that's just that's optional. Again, and I'm only asking you to do it once a week just so it can count as being that live contact with each person. Ted, did you have a question?
Yes, sir, I did. If you happen to have the ability to take a picture or a screenshot of your work that you've done, like if or you typed it, is it okay if I send it to SB3 that way?
Yes. Again, so there's like I said, there's several different ways that you can do work. If you want to take a picture of it, so if we're in work, you can take a picture of it, whether you're using a phone or whether you just hold it up to your camera on your computer. Again, it doesn't matter how you want to screenshot that, but again, you can take a picture of it and use that to submit to Edsby.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. And then go ahead and mute yourself as well, Ted. Are there any other questions so far? Okay. Also Remind, again, I will be using Remind still. Anytime we have one of these meetings, just like I sent out a remind each time I held a meeting for yesterday and today, I'll send out a message on Remind for that meeting so that you guys remember, hey, we have a meeting right now. And that way, if you're not by a computer, but you want to join in via your cell phone or other device, that's fine as well. Again, you'll get the message anytime we have one of those, or I'll also send out reminds about current work that's due. I will most likely probably just be attaching a link to that OneDrive folder when I send out the remind instead of actually attaching the work itself. So if you need to go and look for the work, again, it'll be there in that OneDrive folder. For MCS, I do have all 3 of those classes as the same link when signed up for Remind. So if you're not signed up for Remind, you can text that 81010 number and then give that code at MCS Spisak, and then that'll sign you up for Reminds. Whereas for geometry, I do have it based per class because I do have more students overall in Remind, so I can't have them all in one class period. But if you're not already signed up for Reminds, I highly recommend doing that. That way you get all those reminders as we go through this digital process. For best ways to contact me, again, if we're live during Zoom, again, you can message me through Zoom at any time during a live session or during office hours. I'll have that same exact meeting code will be used every single time for our Zoom, both classes and for the online sessions. So I'm just using that same code every time so it doesn't change. So if you want to save that somewhere, again, it's a good idea to have it as a link so that you can click on it. For EDSB, again, you can contact me through that anytime. Again, just make sure, don't expect an immediate turnaround on EDSB, within 24 hours probably. Same thing for Remind. You'll probably get a faster response. Google Voice, that's more for your parents. If they need to contact me about something, again, they can use that Google Voice number to get in contact with me. Normally, I'm not going to answer it if I don't recognize a number, and I didn't plug every single one of your parents' contacts into my Google Voice, so I'm not going to know every single one when they call. So if you would tell them text first before they use that number, that way I know who's trying to contact me. Also, my email is still there as well. You can always contact me through email. The only thing about email is sometimes Gmail, Yahoo, some of the different things on our spam filter will get recognized as spam. So email is not the most preferable way. Highly recommend EDSB if you're trying to email me, because if you send me a message on EDSB, it also goes to my email and that won't get blocked. But again, those are different ways that you can get in contact with me. Are there any questions at this time? You can raise your hand if you have a question, or just unmute yourself for a moment. I don't know what you did wrong.
Okay, so
you can't hear anything. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
what's up with graduation? What's up with graduation? Like, what are we doing with that?
That's a good question. For those of you that are seniors, I don't know the answer yet to the graduation questions. They haven't sent out anything yet for that purpose, because as of right now, they still only have school canceled through the 15th. So unless they have to cancel it for longer, they probably won't post anything until they've made the decision to, like, if they have to keep school closed for after the 15th, then they'll probably make more of an announcement for graduation. Because graduation ceremonies as of right now, they aren't until, like, I want to say it's around the 20th of May. So again, if or when they make an announcement on that, I'll make sure I'll post things on EDSB as well. Any other questions? And happy birthday to Ted. All right. So the other thing I wanted to do real fast is just run through a couple of things. So I said this would only take about 30 minutes. That's all I'm trying to use as time for this meeting. So I'm going to go to a different screen real quick. All right, so Clever. Again, they changed some things on the Clever site. Again, you still use Hillsborough County. You still have to type that in to get to the Clever site. But then once you are on the Clever site, they give you more instructions. So in case you forgot how to log into Clever, it gives you a little bit more instructions. All right. Also, for some of you guys that have trouble, because I've gotten a few different messages privately and on my phone about not being able to hear things occasionally. For those of you, if you have trouble anytime hearing when doing this, if you're experiencing any type of lag and like my voice starts breaking up, again, let me know through text. It might be an issue everybody's having. It could be an issue on my end. But I know there's a lot of bandwidth issues happening in more populated areas of the county. If you're having an issue, you can also log in through a phone number. So like if you can't hear me at all and you're on a computer, again, you could always mute the sound on your computer and use your phone to call in via a phone number and then log into the meeting as well that way to get audio. I'll have some of that information posted as well so that you know how to do that. But it's the same phone number every time. You just have to have the meeting ID number and the password, which is, sorry, and the password, which is my room number, the 1718. So again, same meeting code every time. So just make sure you keep that stuff saved. All right, for Clever, like I said before, you can log into Clever. When you log into Clever, a lot of those icons you should be familiar with already. I went over how to access the online book before we had left for break. If you need more help with that type of stuff, again, I can do that during my office hours. I just want to make sure that you see, again, what Clever looks like, classes up at the top. I haven't done anything with my classes, so I'm not posting anything in Clever as of yet. I might add that if we have to do this for a longer amount of time. I might add more things so that it's easier to use. But as of right now, I'm not setting up that part of Clever. Again, if you don't have a Khan Academy account, you can use your Clever Khan Academy account. So it's that one that looks like a hand with leaves around it, making it look like a tree. Again, that's the Khan Academy account. You can use that in order to get onto Khan Academy if you don't have your own personal account. Are there any questions about how to do anything on Clever or how to access any of the platforms I had mentioned earlier? All right, and again, if you have trouble with any of those things, we can definitely talk about it more. During the office hours. So again, if you don't have any other questions, that's all that I wanted to talk about today. Did you guys have any questions at all? No, we good? Yeah, and you also have the ability to give me thumbs up and things like that. I think there's a thumbs up. I think there's an applause. There's also, again, then just raising your hand. It depends on which option you're using, where those things are located. But that is it for today. I will, again, post a recording of this meeting on Edsby, as well as, again, it'll be there on YouTube. All right. But that is it for today. Have a good one. All right, and I'll be talking to you all next week. Again, we'll have our first class on Monday morning.
Have a wonderful day.
Have a good one.
Ah.
Oh my God, bye you guys.
Bye.
Follow me on Instagram.
Bye, Mr.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
See ya.